We're live. Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with your host, Christopher Laprath, and my name's Kenan Laprath, your producer. Now, a quick introduction for you. For first-time viewers, if you're watching the show, joining us for the first time, know that your first reading's free. Just say hi in the chat, however you're watching us, whatever platform you're joining us through, and we'll be sure to see that and put you in line for a reading. Going forward from there, it's $100 for the month to get a reading for every single show, or you can do $10 for just a single reading. Now, tonight's show, the title is really interesting. It's Why Pay Attention to Ants. And this comes from a post I came across by this Dr. Amen, or Dr. Amen, if I'm pronouncing that right. He's evidently this very controversial doctor who talks a lot about obtaining kind of a mastery over the mind. Now, these ants that he talks about too, they're these automatic negative thoughts. Now, these can obviously cause problems in life and ultimately lead to disease. However, the good news is they can be overwritten, and the unconscious programming that we get as children, we get to decide as adults, how we want that to play out. So, we've talked about before on the show, one of the tactics that Abraham Hicks suggests is just to find a better feeling thought. And in 30 days, you can be a completely different person, just by finding a better feeling thought, finding a better feeling thought, finding a better feeling thought. And that's your answer. But this Dr. Amen has an interesting tactic that I really like too, where he just says, get curious about these negative thoughts. Like, hey, that's not helpful. Like, what's that doing there? And just let it go. But just have that approach where there's no, like lament or heaviness around the the negativity of the thought, the emotions that can go along with those sometimes. Like it's gnarly stuff. But another practice that I'll leave you with here and turn it over to Christopher Laprath is one of my favorites from Qigong, which is just simply to breathe in everything that we need to feel however it is we want to feel, and breathe out and release everything we no longer need that no longer serves us. And just let that all go. So with that, thanks again for tuning in. Enjoy the show, and here's Christopher Laprath.
Hey, happy Easter, everybody. It's definitely a time of renewal. It is a time of resurrection. And it's a great lesson for us that no matter how many times we have been knocked down, there's always a time to get up. And that even goes with the ultimate knockdown, which is death. We get back up. We've been here before. We know the ropes, but this subject tonight is getting rid of your ants, ANTS, automatic negative thoughts. I thought really went along really well with Easter, with the resurrection, with the renewal, so that we can spring forward. Very important that we want to change our lives. And all of us hear voices. These voices come from us, and they come in our head. And it's been how we were raised, what we heard, and what is often repeated. So as Kenan said, when these negative thoughts come up, are you willing to be more curious about them? To simply be curious? Where did that come from? Who used to say that? Who used to communicate that to me? And then go, oh, wait a minute. That's not mine. That was my father. That was my mother. Those are where they come from, so they're not yours. So that's the point of being curious about it. And then, like Kenan said, once you're curious and once you identify them, you can move on. And I've said this before on the show, our thoughts are like Grand Central Station in New York, where the trains are just whizzing by every direction, going 100 miles an hour, and allow them to keep going. Don't get them to stop. Okay? But it all has to do with energy. And we've learned from this show, we've learned tricks of the trade. Essential oils, stones, right? The people we associate with, the energy that we're around. We've learned a lot of different things. And throughout the chat tonight, the one thing I'd like to have you reflect on, and we'd all like to hear, is this show has been on for 1 year. 1 year. And so thank you. Thank you all for being here, for making this as successful as it's been. Especially a shout out to the Fleece Agency, their branding and marketing company. And they've been a sponsor of the show, as well as Brick Road Coffee. And Brick Road Coffee is here in Tempe, fantastic coffee shop. So if any of you that are here in Arizona get a chance to go to Brick Road Coffee, please do. There's no place like foam, is their theme. Anyway, great place. Very amazing, diversified place. So, and it's very welcoming. And then the Fleece Agency, if you look at my website, they're the ones that did my website. They do quite a bit of my marketing. So shout out to them. Thank you so much. The one thing that I wanted to talk to is about this critical inner voice. Is when it comes up, it's not just a self-critical inner voice. It can be a very critical voice of or toward others, and a judgment, because that judgment of others keeps us from looking at ourselves. Okay? The other thing is critical thoughts about ourselves keep the mind occupied, so that we're not really stepping in or even able to see or think about what our purpose here is on this earth, what we're doing here. And so in clearing that and seeing the truth about yourself is what is so important, one of the main reasons for being curious about your negative thoughts. And that really goes into lighting of the incense. So, happy Easter, everybody. The incense comes from Bhutan, as I said before, and from the Rinpoche. I got this from the Rinpoche who taught the Dalai Lama, who taught the Karmapa. So this blessing, even though you can't maybe smell it, or maybe you can, this blessing, the energy around it goes to you to help clear away anything that is no longer serving you, and let it go. Let it go. Okay. The group card tonight. This is an interesting card. It's called Memories of Atlantis. Now, Atlantis was said to exist 2500 BC, 3000 BC. An advanced race that got maybe caught up in too much thinking, or ego, or too self-involved. Anyway, it has a lot to do with the evolution of mankind now. And the only way that we can help mankind is to really help ourselves. And dismissing a negative thought is a huge way to be able to help yourself. And that energy goes out and it affects and helps the people around you. and then eventually helps the world. So this is all about bringing in a new consciousness, and really understanding how our brains work, taking care of the brain, building new neural pathways. And there are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos. YouTube, what an incredible platform to be able to watch these videos to help train the brain to build the new neurology to support this incoming knowledge and to raise the consciousness of the planet. That's what this is about. And understanding about trusting the process. Well, I can say, hey, everybody, trust the process. Just trust the process. But if somebody has trust issues, that might be a problem. So I took some notes. This is about those inner voices. And if we have trust issues, so many, like 80 to 90% of the trust issues came to us before we were a year old. It's how our parents responded to our needs, or how quickly they responded or didn't respond. Well, we have no control over that. But if you have that knowledge and you maybe do have trust issues, I mean, it's something I could relate to. My father tried to abort me while I was in my mother's womb. So I didn't know that until I was in my early 40s. But understanding that and going, wait a minute, how would this come up? And it's how children are they're able to observe. And so we observed and maybe had some of these trust issues. So if you understand where those are coming from, then you can get or help lose those ants, those automatic negative thoughts. For instance, now, don't get too involved. Back off. You know what? Oh my God, I have to put my best foot forward, best foot forward, best foot forward. I have to look good. I have to look good because one wrong step, I'm gonna lose my partner. I'm gonna get fired. One wrong step, or I wonder, my partner. They should be more affectionate. They weren't very affectionate, and this judgment, but it's where those thoughts go. So those are examples of some of those negative thoughts, those ants. Okay. So thank you all very much for being here. That is the theme card for tonight and moving into this advanced consciousness. So who's on first?
Lindsay's first.
Lindsay's on first. Hey, Lindsay, you're amazing. Okay, here we go. Nine of Pentacles. This is transformation. You see the beautiful butterfly. And Lindsay, you probably look really good in blue anyway. But this is more, Pentacles is about money. And most of us, many of us, money's intangible. And if we came from different places, like up there, do you think they use money in heaven? Or do you think they use money in different dimensions? Probably not. And so when we come here to this earth, to this planet, we're like, what do we do with this? Like, what is this? What? But if you attach, Lindsay, your heart's desire as to what it is you want to do with the money, more will come to it. For instance, having more time for your art, having more time with your girls, focus on the feeling of that. You know, when you're sitting on the couch with the girls and you're having popcorn and you're watching a movie, how that feels, right? When you get to go on vacation with them to Hawaii, and you can watch them play on the beach. The feeling of that. Look at the feeling of this, because that's what it is blessing. And Lindsay, look up the animal spirit butterfly, and I highly recommend writing down some of those intentions in a positive sense, in a present sense, with what you read about the butterfly. It's one of your power animals. I know you don't think of the butterfly as being a power animal, but it is. It's definitely extremely powerful. This is all about your transformation, coming into more money and what it is you want to do with it. Oh, and are you willing to be free of... There's something with this. How about this intention? Money comes to me easily and comfortably and readily. Money always comes to me easily, comfortably, and readily. Rather than I have to work hard, I have to be exhausted. Cancel, clear, delete all those. Those are big, what my mom used to call piss ants, right? They're those big black, would bite the heck out of you. Yeah, those negative thoughts around money, and look at your parents' belief around that and understand that that's their belief around it, not yours. Okay.
Very good. Austin.
Okay, Austin. Well, Austin, you look at this card and you go, this isn't really a happy card. The guy's kind of laying on the field with 10 swords dangling over him. Anywhere where you have picked up, oh, it's going to be bad. Oh, you know, my back is hurting because the rain, it's starting to rain. That's why my back's hurting. Any of these, what would Kenan call tropes? Any of these passed down like family sayings, they don't pertain to you at all. And notice, you know, like I was in a restaurant line, and I heard a woman say, you know, I should have made reservations. I'm just so angry. I should have made reservations. And she was that critical thinking. And I was like, and I could feel the energy from that negativity. And it was something really simple. But what I'm getting here is, lately, if you've heard anyone, it's like a curse. If you've heard anyone curse, either themselves or curse a situation, can you cancel, clear, delete that energetically right now and return to sender? Because it was meant to interrupt your field. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Very good. Laurel's next.
Who?
Laurel.
Hey, Laurel. Hey. My fancy schmancy singer. I love it. Well, you know what, Laurel? Girl, this is the Ten of Pentacles. It's money. So Lindsay gets the money card. Lindsay's card was the Nine of Pentacles, right? You've got, Laurel, I love this. Thank you. Like, I know I'm pulling a card for each of you individually, but this has a lot to do with every one of us. So anywhere that money is coming into us, can you just open all the windows and doors and say, come on in, come on in. And Laurel, your heart is opening. Like your expression and who you are and this love of yourself. And it's like this chest. Wow. You've got some amazing activity in here. It's the lungs, it's the heart opening up. And it's going to actualize in many ways, but it'll actualize in money coming in, money doing what it is you love, absolutely love doing, not because you have to do something to make money, but this is like the heart opening up, and with the heart opening up, you're rewarded for that. Okay. Elk Lady, hey Lana. Love you, Lanny. Oh, and I think happy birthday to Matt and Mark. Hey, happy birthday. Be sure to give them a hug for me. So, my dear, we've talked about this before, but it's coming across really strong this time. What I see here with this card is called the Ace of Swords, but what I see is a pen, P-E-N, like a writing pen. And I'm not saying to start writing, but I am saying to start recording. You can hire people that will transcribe it into writing. You can even get software that will take what you're saying, like if you tape record these stories, this is important. This is important. These family stories, these are going to be important to your great grandkids and your great 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 grandkids. And you know, in the next 20 to 40 years, you're going to have a lot of kids. And there's this was such, you lived through such a transformatory time in mankind. I mean, and your folks did, our folks did, right? To write or just at least tell these stories. Lana, really important. Get on it, girl. Get on it. Okay.
Marilyn Pitts is on.
Hey, Marilyn. So, my dear Marilyn, this is the Eight of Pentacles. So we've got the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. You are extremely smart. but to begin to broaden your understanding. You pick up on things very, very quickly. I'm going to recommend an author because you can see this page. She's sitting at her desk and she's reading. Your guides would like you to have a better understanding of some of these metaphysical, esoteric concepts. And one of the great authors, can you write down Alberto Villoldo? Kennan's going to put in the chat the author, and I really recommend anyone reading these books. And you can't pick up the wrong book. Any book that he's written is really great. It's Villoldo. Villoldo. Yeah. Villoldo. Alberto Villoldo. He is a medical anthropologist. He ran a clinic up in California, and they've known all along that stress, number one cause of heart attack, stroke, and cancer. They've known the negative thoughts and what they cause and the physical harm that they do to the body. That's why Kennan said at the very beginning, hey, be curious about your ants. ANTS. Like, literally, if you have ants in your house, if you just kill the visible ants, it's not going to get rid of the trail or where they're actually coming from. So this is about looking about where these thoughts are coming from and understanding those better. But Alberto Villoldo was this medical anthropologist. They knew about the dangers of stress and what it caused to the body and negative thinking. What they were trying to prove or study is what medical benefit, what did it do to the body, positive thinking did. How did that affect the body? So he went to South America and he actually studied with the shamans in South America. Brilliant, brilliant books. I love his books. Okay.
Marilyn was asking which Marilyn it was for. That's fine. So, yeah, she was first this time.
Yeah, Marilyn Pitts, you're first. Yeah.
Next is Doreen.
Okay, Doreen. Okay, Doreen, please keep us posted on your cooking show. And I love Kennan labeled you as a pork chop angel. So everyone, Doreen is an amazing chef. She's coming out with her own sauces, her own dry rubs, and she and Tony Felice from the Felice Agency are going to be doing this podcast cooking show. And she's just, well, you can tell from her being on the show, she's just a delight. And she's fun to watch, and she's funny. And so anyway, all right, here we go, Doreen. The magician. It's really important, Doreen. It's okay for you to mix it up. Anywhere, anyone has told you that it had to be done a certain way, are you willing to release and clear that now in no uncertain terms? The magician doesn't follow a rule book. He goes with the energy. And I'm getting where you've had some of these Klingons any negativity, return to sender. Return to sender. Okay. Hey, Abby and Marilyn are next. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so Abby and Marilyn live in North Carolina, and then Marilyn Pitts, I think you live out there too. Anyway, well, I got to tell you, like, I'm pretty impressed. Like, we've had 4 or 5 Pentacle cards already. So I'm going to pull this for both of you, and then I'll pull another card for both of you. You've got a really good hand. You've got a really good handle on things. The way what is happening, your viewpoint on things, it's kind of nice to have a little validation from spirit to go on the nose. You got it on the nose, girls. You've got the winning poker hand. But keep your poker face. So they're showing me this guy that traveled halfway around the world, spent thousands of dollars to get to the mountains of Tibet. And he spent days and weeks to hike up this mountain to see this guru. And the guy sitting in front of the guru telling him about all his adventures, what it took to get to see him, what he'd sacrificed to get to see him. And the guru says, would you like some tea? And the guy says, yeah, love some tea. So the guru starts to pour the cup of tea, and he gets the cup filled, and then the cup starts spilling over. And the guy goes, stop, are you an idiot? Can't you see the cup is full? And the guru says basically, yes, the cup is full. There's no room for me to teach you because you basically already know everything. So I love the way you two interact with people about not getting upset about all these sacrifices, some of these people that you've known, and all the work that they're going to make it right, make it good with God, and make it good with blah, blah, blah. They don't get it. Okay? So it may take 2 or 3 lifetimes for that guy to hike back down that mountain, go back home, 3 or 4 or 5 more lifetimes later, maybe his cup will be empty enough to get something. So what this is saying about is, this is a kind of a roundabout saying about not throwing your pearls before swine. Okay, because it's a waste of energy. Powerful moon card. And if you have somebody to throw in on this with the moon, it would help. Because I can tell Kenan has, like, he's so good at astrology, but he knows a lot about the esoteric, especially when it comes to the moon. So it's been a full moon. Emotions come up. We are 70% water. But this is your psychic energy. Be really careful. Allow people to get when they're ready to get it. So this has to do with your psychic abilities going through the roof. Now, how they're going to manifest, it's still emerging. But it's like when we had that reading, Abby, this past weekend, Marilyn, you got goosebumps, and at one point you started to cry because you knew that there was like this. You felt it. You could feel it. Those are going to be. There's going to be more of that. I mean, we talked about this the past two shows about the waves that we feel. What are those called?
Gravitational.
Gravitational waves, right? I'll remind everyone that wasn't on the show, but one of the senses that we do have that scientists have discovered is when gravitational waves start to hit the Earth, people sense it before it hits the Earth, and they go inside. And they've proven this with the CCTV cameras around the world. The CCTV cameras will be focused on a street, and all of a sudden the street will clear, the beach will clear around the world. When these waves start, before the waves start to hit, people sense it. So you don't have to explain why you're feeling what you're feeling, but trust it. Okay, who's next?
Yeah, next is going to be Diane.
Oh, Diane.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Diane.
Awesome. Okay. Are you willing to broaden your concepts? Because this is the Nine of Wands. So the 9 is about big changes. 9 is before the number 10. 10 is a new beginning. 9 is you're coming to an end of how you used to view things. Because this guy is looking down, he's kind of really focused on the tracks, right? He's like looking at one step at a time and which way this animal is going to go, which way this animal is going. And if he would just look up, the elk is standing 100 feet in front of him. But it's like, are you willing to be free of being pulled aside by details or chaos? And just remain curious. Like Kenan said, curious. Oh, I wonder where that thought came from. That's really interesting. So this is lifting. This is the ability to lift your head up and see the elk, like see the deer, see the vision, rather than the process of how to get there. Don't care about the process. Allow the process to now create in your life what it is you really want. Okay.
So last is going to be Cat and Geo.
Cat and Geo. Awesome. Happy Easter, everybody, by the way. Cat and Geo, I hope you had a great Easter hunt. You know, your beautiful yard in Tennessee. Jared. Write this down if you will. I willingly release all fear of judgment. I willingly release all fear of judgment. I willingly release all fear of doing the wrong thing. I willingly release the fear of doing the wrong thing. You know what? Can we all write this down? Like I said, this all has to do with all of us. I'm always and forever free of the fear of judgment. I'm always and forever free of the fear of doing the wrong thing. I trust my path. So, are you willing to let go of all constructs that were passed down generationally, religiously, politically? Okay, that's good. You guys are all doing it. Excellent. Do you feel that? Wow. Good job. Okay, Kat, here we go. Okay, Kat. You're a good person. Who you are and what you do is awesome. But there's a fine line in serving other people and doing the work for them. Oh, okay. So it's okay, I'm going to switch channels here, Kat. Have a really, both you and Jared, have a really good talk with your eldest. I always tell people, I work for a university, and I always tell people, go to college while your kids are little. Oh, I can't, I'm so busy. I'm like, no, because don't wait until they're teenagers for you to go to college, because that's when they really need you. So there's some things that he needs to get off his back, get off his chest. He needs a little bit more time and direction. He's feeling weighed down. Okay.
Very good.
We got everybody?
That's everybody tonight, yeah. I think so.
Awesome. Do we have everybody? If we did not get everybody, if there's anybody new, if you're listening, please just say hi in the chat. If we missed anybody, it's Easter, so I know everybody's with family, but thank you. Great blessings to all of you being here. We'll do this again tomorrow night. Yeah, if we've got everybody, thank you all for being here, especially for pulling all those Pentacle cards. Those are great cards. It's more, not just money, it's more of this great energy coming in. And many times in our dimension, it translates as money. And so we can relate to that and then really focus on what is it that I would do with that money. Like Lindsay's first card at the very beginning. What is that going to give me, and how does that feel to have that? All right, I love you all very much. And Kenan, he sends his love. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Take care.